morning and welcome to the Camnet Community Breakfast Show today, Tuesday, 17th May 2022. I am your host, Zipporah Mshala, and I'm joined by my co-host, Alex Shimba. Today we bring for you extraordinary topics. At 7:30, we're going to be talking about how CDF, Constituency Development Fund, can be used to transform the notorious Chibolia compound in Lusaka. As you are aware, Chibolia compound has been termed as a no-go area because it is known for a number of crimes. And at 8 hours, we're going to be talking about restoring sanity to the country's capital city, Lusaka. We're going to be talking about the issue of street vendors and the issue of garbage in Lusaka's Central Business District. And so we hope you contribute on the matter. I am joined by my co-host, Alex Shimba. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Zipporah. Always nice to be with you on this particular program. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing good. How are you? Today I'm here when we're opening?
Yeah, I'm always here. Don't even let those who have never watched the show. I'm always here for the record.
Are you sure? Okay, which guests are we expecting today?
Yeah, so like you just put it right, we have quite interesting topics that you unpack today. You know, Chibolia has been at the heart of every Zambian person, and it's some compound that is quite famous, or rather commonly attached to being notorious. You know, drugs and all the crime rates that are found in that particular area. But now with the incoming of the CDF, increased CDF, that is, you know, they are mobilizing these youths, the commonly known as the junkies, and trying just to put, you know, to restore sanity in the compound. You know, at one point, government even intended to just demolish all the structures there so that they can even, you know, displace them to other locality. But then seeing that they are putting some effort to change, to transformation, maybe that option might even be not there when it comes to government. So we get to interview some people on the ground and basically trying to investigate how far the transformation will be and if it's actually attainable.
Yes, definitely, because people are actually wondering, like, how attainable is this? How sustainable is it going to be in the long run?
But we don't want to attach any, you know.
I'm sure they'll come and explain themselves how if it is sustainable.
We'll hear for ourselves. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And just now, we're just going to have a little stretch before we begin our day. So let's just have the morning boost.
Yeah.
Good morning, Team Camnet, and welcome to our morning boost. And my name is Isaac Matsa. I am here to get you ready before you go about your day. So let's start with the warm-up, then we raise our fitness level. Let's go. Good morning, wherever you're watching us from. You are all welcome. Here is our warm-up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, that's good. So the first workout we're going to do is going to be lunges. So I'll break them in 30 seconds. Okay, here we go. Let's go now. 30 seconds each. 1, 2, 4, start with me. Keep going. Just for 30 seconds. How is your morning? How was your night? Hope you had a rest tonight. Okay, you're almost there. Last one. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to do another 30 seconds. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. Watch my body posture. My head is not shaking. My shoulders are still. My chest is still. That's the way it should be done. Let's go. So it's going to be 1 minute of lunges, but I broke it into 30 seconds each. Okay. Almost there. Last one. Good stuff. Okay. Here we go. Next workout now. I'm going to do some squats. This is how we're going to do it now. Okay. 10, then I move. 1 minute. I won't do any break here. Let's go Team Camnet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Down and go. 1, 2, 3, 10. Push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great stuff. That was a 1 minute workout. So we've got 2 plus a warm up, which gives me 3. Okay, let's go now for a 4th workout is what we're going to do now. This time, I'm going to do a plank, a little bit on the tummy. So here we go. I'll break it also in 30 seconds. So I'm going to do 2 planks. If you can't handle that, do it in 15 seconds, but make sure you go for a minute. So 1 minute, but I'll break it into 2, 30 seconds each. Watch my posture. Make sure you're straight. Let's go. 30 seconds. I'm not too high, I'm not too low. Good morning, wherever you're watching us from. This is good for you. Your health is your wealth. Let's go Team Camnet. If you're watching on Facebook, tell me how many seconds I've done. Just type something so that we know that you're watching. Okay. There we go. 30 seconds. I'll face this side. Another 30. Let's do a countdown, Team Camnet. Let's go. Working on the tummy now. Let's go, Team Camnet. It's a beautiful Monday. It's a beautiful morning. A beautiful Tuesday. A beautiful Wednesday, a beautiful Thursday, any other day. It's a beautiful day. Almost there. Hold it. And done. All right. So that was a 1 minute for the tummy. Let's throw some punches for another minute. Then we'll be concluding. Here we go now. 2 punches each. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. 1. For 1 minute. Straight 1 minute. Go. Let's go. Go. Let's go. Go. Let's go. Let's go, Team Camnet. Good morning. Good morning, Zambia. Good morning, wherever you're watching us from. 2 punches each. Punch into your day. Let's go. Can you hear me, Team Camnet? Woo! A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. 2 punches each for 1 straight minute. Go. 5, 4. Let's go. Awesome stuff. Let's go again. 3 punches now. Let's go. 1 minute. And 3. 10. 3. 10. 3. 10. We do this for 1 minute. 10. 3. 10. 3. Now 5. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll end with 5. 5 punch. 5 punches. Go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 5 punches. All right. Let's do a cooling down now. And we are done for today. Let's march. Keep marching. Thank you so much for working out with me today. And I'll see you next time at the same time as well. Let's go. Open your stance. And let's wind up now. Go. Let's wind up. Let's wind up. You're good to go now. Ready for the day. Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Team Camnet, viewers, wherever you're watching us from. This has been Isaac Mata, your presenter for this morning booth. I'm going to see you at the same time. And make sure that you tag your friends. Let them come and join us. And we do a workout together. Thank you. And I'll see you.
Welcome to our show today. That was the morning boost for today. It been a very cold day as it is, so we just try to prolong the morning boost so that we can exercise even longer. And tell us how that worked out for you. For us in the studio, it was quite interesting and quite helpful. Zipporah, how did you find that exercise?
I even feel warm now. Previously, I was feeling cold.
You know,
but yeah, I feel warm. That exercise is really, really
And have you noticed the skies? Like, they are really, as if it's about to rain.
And these days, I think you can't bath cold water, but I'm used myself, so I bathed cold water. But
you bath cold water?
It was freezing this morning, yes.
Whoa. No ways.
Yes,
no ways.
I bathed cold water.
Let's move on. We will leave it at that. Okay, today is in our health segment. We will be having Dr. Chelo Mwanza, who actually started an introduction of rheumatic heart diseases yesterday. And today she continues to actually give the progress to rheumatic heart diseases. And she'll be joining us right here in the studios. Let's stay tuned and get some insights from the health segment today.
Good morning and welcome once again to today's Health Corner, which is proudly brought to you by the Medical Women Associations of Zambia. I'm Dr. Chelo Mwanza, a pediatrician. So this week our topic is rheumatic heart disease. So just a recap on what we talked about yesterday. Yesterday we talked about a sore throat, what a child with a sore throat will present with, and how that a sore throat can actually lead to acute rheumatic fever. We also talked about what a child with acute rheumatic fever may present with. I talked about how a sore throat should be treated so that it can be prevented from causing acute rheumatic fever. I also mentioned that it is acute rheumatic fever that later on complicates into rheumatic heart disease. So today we're going to look at how rheumatic heart disease actually comes about after this child has had acute rheumatic fever. We're also going to look at how a child with rheumatic heart disease will present, how the child with rheumatic disease will present, and how we can treat those symptoms. Okay. So rheumatic heart disease, as I defined it previously, is actually when the heart's valves have been damaged because of a previous sore throat that a child may have had previously. So this sore throat is actually occurs mostly, we see it in children between the age of 5 to the age of 15 years. So it is in this age range that we normally see this disease of sore throat progressing into the rheumatic heart disease. Children that have had improperly, frequently treated acute rheumatic fever, or rather a sore throat, because before it goes to acute rheumatic fever, can actually complicate into rheumatic heart disease. So remember about the soldiers that we talked about yesterday. So when these soldiers get to the valves of the heart, so the soldiers are the antibodies that help us fight the infection. So after they've damaged the heart valves, blood now starts to flow backwards instead of flowing the normal direction that is supposed to go to. So it's not all the blood, but it is some of the blood. So as this backflow of blood continues, the heart's valves continue to get damaged, and even the other parts of the heart also start to enlarge than usual. So if this child's heart gets to that particular state, they may easily go into heart failure. So it is at this point that we call it rheumatic heart disease. So these valves do not only get damaged and allow blood to flow backwards, but they can also become smaller and reduce the amount of blood that passes through. Now, we know that for every part of the body to function properly, it's supposed to be in its correct state, and so this heart that has valves that are damaged will not work as it's supposed to, and so this child will have what we call heart failure. Other than the heart failure that this child will present with, there are other things that we may need to look out for in a child that we may suspect could have had acute rheumatic fever. So I had talked about them feeling tired, having joint pains, and having their heart racing, but they can also have some skin nodules under their skin. They can also have red patches on their skin. So this is a child that sometimes may have abnormal movements of the hands. So you may not really see them, but you may see from the change in the handwriting of the child. So these are some of the things that we need to look out for in a child that we suspect to have had rheumatic heart disease. Now, I want to talk about the signs of heart failure, because this is what we are more likely to see in a child that has rheumatic heart disease. So heart failure will present as difficulties breathing. So this child will be breathing very fast. They will be feeling like they are running out of breath, or the air in the place where they are is very little. This child may not be able to lie flat on the bed, because when they do so, they'll feel like they're running out of breath or they're running out of air. This is a child sometimes maybe at night will wake up feeling breathless. Some of them will want to stand, probably for bigger children, that is. Remember that this disease is found mostly in those between 5 to 15 years. So these are children that will wake up, probably will ask you to, put them closer to a window or to a door where they can catch more air because they're running out of breath. Yeah. After that, you may start seeing that their legs start swelling. Other than that, their abdomen, or we usually call it the stomach, but the abdomen will also start swelling. So at that state, it means that this heart is failing, and we are now in rheumatic heart disease. So what we do when we are in that state, we need to look at this heart. We may want to run a number of tests just to see how this heart is functioning. But most importantly is that we are going to give this child medication to help the heart pump properly. Because if we don't do so, this heart will continue working extra hard and eventually will even fail more than the state in which it is. So this is what we had for you today. The progression of rheumatic heart disease from acute rheumatic fever. So tomorrow we're going to look at how we can investigate, or rather what tests we need to do to ascertain that this child actually has rheumatic heart disease. Thank you for watching. I'm Dr. Chelo Mwanza, a member of the Medical Women Association of Zambia.
That was Dr. Mwanza Chelo, who's actually a member of Women Medical Association of Zambia. And today we're just talking about progress in rheumatic heart diseases, and quite informative data there where we can take use of the information that the doctor's given us on the issue of heart diseases. What are some of the takeaways, Zipporah? Just maybe two quickly so that we get to another segment.
Yes, maybe some of the takeaway points for me were like shortness of breath, swelling legs, and all those things. Your heart is beating too fast or something like that.
Yeah, and
so
she mentioned at that point, you know, you need to know that maybe your child and everything, you need to take medication and try to, facilitate the medical process.
Yeah, and the sooner the better, so that at least once you recognize those symptoms, you quickly seek treatment to prevent further complications.
Indeed.
And so just a reminder, that segment is up for sponsorship. So if you want to get some visibility for your brand, you can actually get to sponsor the health segment. And just now, we're going to look at another segment that is also up for sponsorship, and that is the money market. So let's just take a look at today's money market. So we have the United States dollar, which is buying at 16 kwacha 85 ngwe, selling at 17 kwacha 19 ngwe. The Great British Pound, which is buying at 20 kwacha 65 ngwe, selling at 21 kwacha 6 ngwe. The Euro, which is buying at 18 kwacha 89 ngwe, selling at 19 kwacha 26 ngwe. The South African Rand, which is buying at 1 kwacha 4 ngwe, selling at 1 kwacha and 6 ngwe. So that's your money market for today. Alex, what are your thoughts on the money market?
Indeed, it looks like there's some weird, for yesterday, stability from the selling part, and also a bit of depreciation from this buying side, where we have 17.418 way.
Yes, I remember it was, is it buying at 16 kwacha 81 way today, it's buying at 16 kwacha 85 way, meaning we've seen a bit of depreciation there. Yeah,
and like we always say, we hope it gets better every day, so that it can be translated to cheaper cost of living from the Zambian people. Okay, and so just now we move to our next segment, which is zooming the headlines. Yesterday, Alex, we were in Comesa Market. I'm sure you know that place is actually known for a lot of things. There have been a lot of wrangles there. For example, the other time last year we were there. We had some traders, but that was under the previous administration. We had some traders who have been complaining, saying, we woke up one day and found that some people have begun building on top of our shops. So we have all those issues there, whereby you've got a shop, the next morning you find that someone has actually begun construction on top of your shop without your permission. Wow. So there are a lot of issues in Comesa. There are also allegations of illegal land allocation, because the market is run by in two ways. It's run by the council and also by the market committee. So there are also those allegations saying the market committee are usually made up of alleged cadres from whichever party is ruling at the moment. Oh, yeah. So they allegedly give out this land. So there are just many issues in Comesa Market. Let's just take a look at the story. So the latest development is that just today there's this placement for a car park at the market, and so now the traders called us saying the suspected cadres here were actually making makeshift stores. But then similar stores were actually demolished last month in April by the local, the Ministry of Local Government and the Lusaka City Council, because they said these were actually put on a place which was meant for a road reserve by cadres from the previous regime. So these were demolished, and then now alleged UPND cadres are doing the same thing on a place which is meant for a car park.
So now they're saying last time when the Minister of Local Government came here, he said all these stores, which are made out of iron sheets, are going to be demolished, but I was surprised that now people, more in fact are coming. People are making more of those, so really want some inspections here.
Yeah, and really it's an issue that has really prolonged, and we get to expect change in this new administration because they've put it on record that they want to restore sanity, especially in these trading centers, especially commercials, so to say. So we hope that the authorities that are in charge of these facilities can actually take that up. Let's just take a look at that story and get to dig deeper when you come back.
Barely 1 month after the Lusaka City Council moved in to demolish legal structures at Comesa Market which were constructed by alleged Patriotic Front cadres during the previous administration, alleged United Party for National Development UPND cadres have begun doing the same in night operations. The Lusaka City Council in April 2022 moved in to demolish 31 makeshift stores which were built on a road reserve, leading to traders who had bought the stands from the said cadres, losing out thousands of kwacha. A similar operation has begun on a place meant for a car park at the market by alleged UPND cadres, much to the dismay of traders who alerted Camnet TV News.
Okay, so cheti danda ulako kuno ninkani ya makada bativuta kuno komesa. Ba minister bezokambati kuno vimantemba bonse vizachoka hivi. Sivichoka bamboletera vinanga. To make matters worse, sibavileta mzuwa, bavileta usiku. Kukucha kusantibula mteo ntipeza pa washangantemba. Apa washangantemba. Tizankara branch. Tisikangi woka mboka kamba kwa tisipuleka ku office. Nisimakada akaliko.
Boma, kuti itianganireko. Chifanya uti apa ndiye pakinga mamotoka. Mamotoka parking wapa. Manjenga tuwapaka mantemba. Mamotoka za parking na kuti. Ndi bakanso aleta bishara apa. Ichi chishara ndiye patutaira vintu vamenticho za market wikapa. Deni futi vama uyu bamba ama parking apa mnyapa. Deni ama container minaleta ama leta usiku. So tipemba boma kuti tianganireko chifua papo parking mamotoka apa. Nanga mamotoka tezambo parking kunja.
The traders alleged that the said cadres expressed arrogance when approached, claiming to be well connected.
Mabara yametutengerapo vintu vamene tufakau abantu amene kama kuti maforena amene amaforena ndewarengeza kuti tuzilipira manyumba kumachani
All this is said to be happening despite a call from the head of state declaring that all cadres will have no backing if caught in the act. The traders have since called on the local authorities to conduct an inspection. Zipora Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka. So there you have it. That is the story from Comesa Market. So something interesting, Alex. There. I don't know what your thoughts on this story.
Already we don't have space for parking the cars when you get into the CBD. But then on top of that, you're even adding the stores. Anyway, I don't know how well connected they are since they are saying that they are well connected.
So they alleged that yesterday they were alleging that if we confront them, they will say we're going to call police to come and beat you up.
Them to call police.
Yes, they alleged. So really, we're trying to establish whether this is being done legally. That's one thing you have to. So actually, yesterday I got in contact with the Lusaka City Council, who said they'll get back to me today on the same, because I have to establish: is this being done legally? Has this have all procedures been followed? What is the way forward with the car park in case it is a legal procedure? Because we need to find out really what's happening. And people have actually been calling for an audit of markets to actually find out really like what is really happening in these markets. There's so many alleged illegalities. And another concern, Alex, has been on maybe the market committee being run by cadres, or maybe should I say members of the
affiliated members to the ruling party.
Yes, people feel like this should just be independent people. Of course, maybe everybody has got a party they support, but they should not be as in members with maybe membership cards. They should just be citizens.
And the office is painted with a particular color. When you enter, you're even feeling
we've had this problem in bus stations and now in markets as well. It's there, whereby why should the market be actually run by? Why should the market committee have people from the current ruling party? So whichever government, it can be the previous administration to the same issue, but why should such issues be allowed? So I'm sure that's something that can be looked into too. avoid some of these issues.
Yeah, moving on, what else do we have on our desk?
Okay, so we also have another story from Blessings Chakwila. So we have many companies actually which do not dispose of their waste in a proper manner. So we have this story about a certain company, we hear from the story, from the story, yes, where it's alleged that they're making Zichwantu, but they do not have a proper place of where to dispose of the waste which comes from that process of making it. So now this is actually affecting people trading around that area in terms of order and just sanitation. So there have been this concern saying companies should actually take responsibility for their businesses. When you set up a business, they're supposed to actually find a proper place to dispose of their waste and all those things. So let's just take a look at that story and we'll be back to discuss in detail.
Despite Zambia having the Waste Management Unit, which is a regulatory unit of waste management in the city, mandated to plan, organize, execute and supervise waste management services in other selected areas, some industrial companies seem to have a tendency of recklessly disposing of waste. On the 9th of November 2021, Camnet TV aired a story where traders at City Market had allegedly accused Zambia Oriental Limited Company of not managing waste properly. That came from the manufacturing of a local drink called Chiwantu. Fast forward today, Camnet TV was on the ground to check if the company lived to its assurance that they would find a permanent solution of managing the waste. To our surprise, it's like nothing has been done as the drainages are still blocked, hence causing a bad odor.
Because I have seen what is outside. I'm going straight to the Lusaka City Council and...
Listen, my boss is not around. Okay, let me go. You can wait.
Traders within the area have expressed concern over the same.
Ipangako vibwantu bichani but mamino zeba sebenzesa yalipeko enda so yaka bakasebenzesa yakwera kuno koticha affect and the affect yakwentike ambayo ngati mukaimbera si affect yamusha ina ma chemicals ise kuno tinkaliramu affected kala bifuba chani still babekuchokera.
They have lamented how difficult it has been to operate in an environment that has a bad odor.
Nonje challenge ikulu tili nayo ngati mwaiona pali suwa pali drainage chokera kuta ku last so ita drainage mabota manzi mu main drainage so I main drainage niyo broker just cause of ya main project ya marketing banai broker paja drainage so manzi kulibe kweyaenda so manzi yonse yabwo nkala stack paja so ija company ipanga kuja viwantu ija using ma chemicals yakuti bija ma residues ma byproduct itiko vitaila so bija vama vichita release mu drainage ya menei so wakavichita release mu drainage.
The waste management unit operates in a cost neutral manner, meaning they generate sufficient funds to pay for all expenditure required to provide an efficient and affordable waste collection and disposal service in the entire city. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
There you have it, a story from a company, a named company, not disposing their waste appropriately. And Blessings was on ground. Even after running a story last time, they didn't live to their promises.
Yes, so this has actually been a problem. There's also another company which actually didn't even have like proper toilets for their. I remember I think it was last year where there was even a concern raised in one of these same industrial areas where one of the companies didn't even have a proper place of disposing of like maybe proper toilets. So they like made a hole in the wall whereby if the toilet is used, like there's no proper sewer system, to just go into the drainage outside. So now that's a similar situation now in terms of Chiwan. So really these areas
that same story, did they respond positively to?
Yes, I think the company was being closed down. It's been about 9 months.
Oh.
So I think these companies actually have to be more like checked to make sure that they're actually following all regulations in terms of where do their employees go to the toilets and all those things, how do they dispose of garbage. Definitely, otherwise we're shooting ourselves in the foot or accepting investors again or creating another problem, sanitation problem.
Yeah, now moving on, we're getting to our first interview where we'll be even opening our phone lines which are scrolling on your screens, and we're live on Facebook where you can catch us live there and just to drop your contribution in the comment section and you'll be able to review when we have that chance. And basically we are discussing the use of CDF, and that is Constituency Development Fund, to transform Lusaka's Chivodia compound, which is known for being notorious and full of other vices, especially affecting the youth in that particular community. So I get to discuss this particular topic with the Ward Development Committee Chairperson for Harimwanga Nkumbula Ward 12, who is Mr. Nswana Gift. When we get back, we'll be jumping right there in that topic. Let's just take a short break and stay tuned.
Are you a married man or woman? Are you encountering challenges in your marriage? Are you planning to take your marriage and love relationship to higher levels? Your business platform is all set for you as a couple. You are invited to attend Zambia's First Love and Marriage plus Business Conference. Amid these uncertainties in the economy, higher divorce rate in the world, plan to be one of the most successful couple in Zambia. Date 28th May 2022. Time from 9 hours to 16 hours. Participation fee 1,200 kwacha per couple. Lunch inclusive. For registration, payment can be done through MTN mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010 for Airtel Money. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International. Speakers, Professor and Mrs. Catherine Munkumba. And your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilo. This is a must-attend conference. Plan and make a date with us. Your lives, marriage and future will never be the same. Remember, we are born for greatness. Book for your seats by calling 0962 965 883. See you on the 28th May 2022.
Your love always brings me back.
Welcome back, and in case you're just joining us, we are live on your screens, and we're just opening our phone lines right now where we discuss Chivodia compound. And we're also live on Facebook, where you can actually follow us with a conversation, and you can get an opportunity to actually add your voice and your contribution, your question, and we'll be able to handle all those on this particular topic. Now, Chivodia compound is known for being notorious. That is one of the compound which is actually known for drugs, especially the use of drugs among the youth. And today's conversation is about transformation that is ongoing in this particular compound, which at one point government wanted even to demolish and displace the people who stays there. But the question is, do we have a different story today, different narrative, to see to it that the use of CDF is used appropriately and rightly to transform the youth, the women and the men in Chivodia compound. We are joined by the Ward Development Committee Chairperson, Mr. Nswana Gift, for Harimwanga Nkumbula Ward 12. Good morning, Mr. Nswana.
Morning, thank you.
Good morning. And also Mr. Clinton, who's actually running an NGO that is particularly working with Chivodia compound. Good morning, Mr. Clinton. Good morning, too. Yes, you are welcome to this particular show. And you can join us using the numbers that are scrolling on the screens to just add your voice to this particular conversation. To start with, Zipporah, we compiled something concerning the youths from Chibolia. Maybe just elaborate a bit more before we can take the story up.
Okay, definitely. That was last week where we saw a number of youths from Chibolia compound actually committing to change using this constituency development fund. And so they've actually expressed interest in forming cooperatives in order to change from their ways. And one of the interesting things in the story really is that they're even saying that, okay, I used to engage in theft and all that, but now I'm willing to change. So I think that CDF will actually be used positively. I'm sure you know that there have been these stories about Chibolia, allegations that maybe even some policemen fear the Chibolia compound. And Alex actually had a first-hand experience.
I wanted to actually go that
You actually had a first-hand experience in Chibolia. So
I lost my phone.
In Chibolia, while on duty in Chibolia.
And it was, but anyway, I don't have any hard feeling, like no negative vibe, but then we'll get to watch the story, and when we get back, we'll interact more on that particular front. Stay tuned.
This is a group of youths in Lusaka's Chibolia compound, representing a total of 200, who say they want to turn away from illicit activities in the community and contribute positively to the country's development. Chibolia compound has for long been labeled problematic, as it is regarded as the center for activities like drug and alcohol abuse, as well as theft, among others. The youths who spoke to Camnet News, however, say they have received a second chance of life through the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, by submitting business proposals.
But CDF for basically what cheat so but tuna shema nchito ile tufuna na watu andwena kwanje wena salamu muliza condition ile tangana example na leo za chinda that kumkamo nice mwezi
nonga sikomo kulo president botirekera bo banani kai munga isisinga ene sininga nami ine kuchibolia bamena wakati bot passage program yakuti nekendeka bola pa ground ine sininga nami nenze kupanga lokubali sininga nami nenze kupanga lokubali kani lebe bochita pese kane nonkala chemchibolia so chi
ena Ismail jambo kwani support ndo shanani ma practice which I said enjoy the boxing, music, what dancing and what footballing. Was it quite easy?
So would like this thing which they are supporting us, the supporter, would like them to be coming and supporting us so that we can go far.
Meanwhile, Hari Mwangankumbula wa 12 Councillor Mr. Aaron Mwanza says the youth will be trained in various ventures to set an example to other youths in the compound.
We shall use this opportunity for CDF to empower this group. Definitely they are going to be empowered. They will form a cooperative which will be empowered in different types of skills that they will be doing. Then you want also those who want to do skills, go for training. We have identified a school, BH school is within our area, and also there is Kanyama Youth Project that will also be training our youth in various skills.
Meanwhile, the Future Community Foundation Project Coordinator Mr. Clinton Gando says partnering with the local authorities, the organization is determined to bring change to Chibolia compound.
So I just appreciate these youths who are with me here for their positive action, like the positive mind which they have, and they are promising us to say this issue we complain about drugs, we won't hear about it. This issue complain about the gun robbery, they are promising to say no, will be the whole community, Chibolia community, will be totally transformed.
The Ward Development Committee chairperson has also added his voice.
But again, what we are appealing to is to those NGOs, organizations, any organization that can come on board again to help, to build up that piece that we have there on the ground. We put like everything together. We can put a basketball court, we put a, even for women, tennis, everything, so that they can participate.
The youths who say they plan to engage in many business ventures, among them welding, livestock and music, have not shied away from showcasing their skills.
Munichepa nsaka tiniza ziraliitile daba CDF atichinjireko life CDF ni last kuwina ni must kamasha ni just.
Zipora Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka. So there you have it, an interesting story from Chiwolia compound. The youth have admitted to maybe engaging in unproductive activities, but then they say they want to change. And so, Mr. Nswana, maybe to begin with, how do you think maybe the said move is sustainable? Are they going to change for good if they get empowered from CDF, given that these people have been in unproductive activities like drugs and all that for a very long time?
Sure. First and foremost, to start with, because we engaged them in the first place. We went on the ground, we approached, and we met a lot of the youths. It's not that the group that you have seen that is coming on board to say we'll change. There are a lot. Actually, because on CDF, we started with the trade schools, those who want to do trades programs. So we identified a lot of them that can do mechanics, auto mechanics, engineering, even driving. So they are involved in that part, some of them. Some decided to say, if us, we can't go like to school, we can venture into sports. And these are the guys that we got. There's some that can do music, they can play football. Last time we had even a program which we involved a lot of them. We had about 4 teams which played football, a lot percentage. So Chiwolia has been transformed. Like for now, you can move even around during the day, during the night, within the area. You can move, and these people, what they are waiting for, because they never had that approach from the government or from the people to tell them, their leaders, to tell them to say this is wrong, this is right. All they used to do is, once they hear to say there's noise, they cast them, they put them in cell, but nothing was to show to say these people will change. But once we involved them, we got in touch with them, we talked to them. They told us what they wanted. To say us, the thing that we want is change. Because even them, they are saying to say government has been abandoned, we have been abandoned by the government. You see? So what they want is to see people from higher offices there to engage them and to work with them. They are willing to change, and they have changed. Nowadays, what they do now, the same people that you call junks, if they see anyone grabbing somebody's phone, they cut that person and bring them to police station.
Is it?
Sure. If you can confirm that, even tomorrow, the time that we're leaving the office, they brought about 4 guys. They said they started like just a week ago. They were hiding somewhere, grabbing phones, and doing raping some girls. But they managed to cut them yesterday, and they brought them to Chiwolia police. So this system has changed. It's like you can move anytime, you can do anything, because we are interacting with them time after time. So what we are just really, like what we are appealing is now, this like, CDFs can't do enough, because it comes once in a year. But we want like the corporate world to come on board, the NGOs, anyone who is willing to assist, to come on board so that we can work together. Because when they see me as a youth, I'm working with them, they appreciate that. They know that me, I can't do anything to them. They know me, I've grown up from there, and they understand me very well. So it's very easy to cooperate with them, to bring them on book and say, oh, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. They are willing to change, but all they want is support. All they want is money. We have got like so many talented youths in Chiwolia. Some they can play football very well. Some they can do, what's this? Yeah, acrobatics. Yes, acrobatics. But they don't have support. So these are the guys that we are bringing on board. They can do a lot. Because at one time when I was working at Intercontinental, we used to do functions. You find that the same guys from Chiwolia, they are performing in big programs. You find them somewhere else, everywhere. They are performing and they're getting money, but they're coming from Chiwolia.
Now, Mr. Nswana, I want to understand. So the so-called transformation has come about because of CDF, is it?
Sure, sure.
Okay, so meaning, do we see any sort of misunderstanding in terms of what CDF is? Because I'm seeing a situation where they have this understanding of it being actual money, like you giving them money, go do this, go do this. But what if they don't appreciate the fact that CDF it comes in form of a cooperative, and you need to have a project in place. You need to have a well-articulated and compiled document attached to it to define what you want to embark on as a project, and government will give you the funding. What if they feel that to be not enough? They really would just want the money, and they are in this illusion to say, oh, they've promised us money. If they don't give us money, we'll go back to our same routine. Don't you see that in future?
No. Actually, when we engage these guys, we are not telling them to say, we'll give you money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because they understand from the onset.
They understand to say, it's only, we sponsor them to school, or we say, we organize programs that we want to do. If it's a business, you identify, we want this business. Actually, maybe you give them the tools that they need to use to that business, or you support them in what they are willing to do, not to give them hard cash. They will make hard cash on their own.
Through those projects?
Yes, yes.
Mr. Clinton, I'm seeing you have a thought. You can go ahead.
So, we are working in partnership with the Office of WDC, World Development Committee. And the main issue which is there, your question, I get your question. We do the orientation. That's our part. So that the youths are not motivated by just money. I think we have, this story now, maybe it's now for 6 months we've been working together with Camnet also to try and bring the concrete solution on the ground. So on our side, we do much of orientations so that we have that system thinking gets to change. And that's where we also appreciate Camnet, because you have been with us to try also to help the public there so that they should not marginalize that community. So the issue of marginalizing the community, that's the first approach we are using to open up, to get to interact, as the World Development Committee chairperson is mentioning. So now that place has opened up, and because of the opening up of the place, the area, those people, they feel to be part of us, meaning now they can also defend us. If they see someone now being attacked, they'll say, you disturb the developmental programs, which we are always discussing about with other partners. Because the partners, for sure, they are coming on board. Slow, but you came on board as Camnet, trying to interact with them, and also other institutions also, the sport institutions, they are coming on board. So the youths, they are appreciating now the opening up. And even the WDC, or maybe CDF, it's just another part of the initiative which has come on board, which they are appreciating. If you interact with them, the youths themselves, they have a lot of appreciations which they have in place to say, oh, we are praying. Them, they'll talk about activities. So they are much interested in football, they are much interested in music, they are much interested in developmental activities which would give them a livelihood. So the CDF is a top-up of what is the baseline which is on the ground.
Indeed. Mr. Nswana, you've grown up from Chibolia compound, you said.
Sure.
Yeah. How do we ensure that Chibolia is accepted, even to the outside society, so that we get to work together with them and appreciate them for who they really are?
Yeah, when we want to appreciate Chibolia, for now, because way back, the activities which used to take place, as in, you have said to say they used to grab phones, they used to beat up. I think it has minimized for now, let me say so, because of the engagement that we have against them. When I think if you are to find out even from the police station to say, how is the situation like for now? The situation is okay, because what they have done, there's businesses many in those places in Chibolia. And they discovered to say they can't run their business well because of the same system. So they have engaged the same youths in Chibolia there are some groups just for security. If they see anyone doing that, they capture that person, take them to police. So that the business, they can run well. And what they do by the end of the day, they give them something just to maintain the peace and the security. So it's well known, like for now, you can even move during the daytime, passing.
If you are in the vehicle without even closing your windows.
Yeah, yeah. You can, because there's security.
That with your phone.
No,
Just,
no.
Okay. So, Mr. Gandu, we've seen maybe, for example, if I can say, we've seen similar projects, maybe like for street kids, where maybe for a time these street kids changed. So, don't you think maybe it will be the same situation? Maybe it's just the beginning phase for now. In 1 year's time, do you think the situation will still be the same for Chibolia in terms of change? What's your 1 year projection?
Okay, in 1 year time within Chibolia, I see a lot of change, but we don't need to give up. You know, development, it's an ongoing process, and the issue we have, like as I mentioned earlier on when we met here, to say complex problems, they keep on coming, they keep on they keep on emerging. So we need a lot of institutions to continue being on the ground, and that's where we come in as a neutral institution to partner with the government institutions. So neutral institutions always are supposed to be there, so that when our WDC maybe will be busy to maybe, okay, you know, there is a change of government each and every time. So maybe in the future we may be unlucky to have a government who won't recognize that. But we do appreciate the governance system which allows the neutral NGO to remain on the ground. So our mission, our vision, and also like our objectives are to remain in that community forever. Of course, maybe I may move out of the Future Community Foundation, but the people who are coming in to work with us, we are telling them to say the mission of this NGO is to ensure that we engage with the marginalized community. And it's not the only community, of course, there are also other communities. So we are also having a mission to expand our activities. If maybe by 2023, next year, right, we would need also a coverage of the whole, maybe entire Lusaka. We just focus the whole entire Lusaka to try and see how are we helping the children, how do we have the database, what system are we using, what approach are we using, and in that way we'll be providing information to political institutions and like the WDC, because these have got influence of resources, they've got also influence of mobilizing people together. So in the objective of the Future Community Foundation, by next year we are planning to expand our activities like to the coverage of the whole Lusaka, so that we get to know who are the marginalized, and also how are the street kids going to be socially, like the social inclusion part, how are we going to include them in the economic activities or maybe in the school and other things like healthy, because also health is another topic for the street kids. Thank you.
And so one other thing which I've heard, maybe there have been suggestions, I don't know what your take on the matter, there have been suggestions from some people that maybe the Chibolia's name should be changed in the spirit of maybe bringing transformation, because I don't know, it's in Bemba, isn't it? You know, I don't know Bemba much, but I'm meant to believe it's meant to be some desolate place. Is it? Yes, desolate place. So maybe it was because it was desolate at that time, but then just the name itself, people feel like it is not a good name, and if we were to transform Chibolia, should give it a better name. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Like if we talk of me being an African, and the culture is something which is important, and culture is historical.
We can give it an African, a good African name.
No, it's good to maintain. It's good to maintain the name, so that historically we'll be knowing where we are coming from.
Sure.
If we change it, if we transform, but we just know to say this area used to be like this, just like Soweto in South Africa.
You don't want it to be Florida or something?
No, no.
I think I know Zipporah is leading. You know, there is this in a religious setting where you find that names have a certain connotation and detachment. Don't you think so, Chibolia?
Maybe it comes with, really.
Yeah, it comes with a particular kind of behavioral traits.
Yes.
No. I think the way it is, it's fine. What we need to change is just the people, but not the name of the compound.
Oh,
And also, Mr. Swana, when I did that story, the same story which we were just from playing, we received a number of sentiments from people, maybe mainly on Facebook, who are saying what those people need are prayers, not CDF. I don't know your take on the matter.
Actually, both can help. So when you're bringing, like, when you're transforming a person, you don't just have to cut on one part. First of all, the church need to help as well, players, because when you're transforming someone, need to understand what the Bible says and what God says about him or his life, so that they can change permanently. Sure. So as well, we need to involve in the church.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you have a point. And then talking of Chibolya compound as a whole community, how are you looking at the women in Chibolya? What sort of programs do you plan for them as well?
Okay, thank you. I think that's a good question, because first and foremost, the government is putting more effort on women, because there is on the CDF part, there's women and youth empowerment. So we are too much concentrating on women, but even the men came on board to say, what are we thinking about them? But most of the people, men at least have got something to do by the end of the day, but women just stays home. That's where you find that even some activities, or even you find that there isn't gender balance, because most of the times men are the ones working, and by the end of the day you find that the fights are happening in their homes, because the man will come, no, I'm always tired, I'm getting things for you. But we want now to empower even the women. What are we doing now to empower these women? That's the reason why I encourage him to say, if you can have a cooperative, or you don't have a cooperative, you can form and organize the group, a group of 10, where you can organize something small that you can do, any small business that you can be doing. Even to get about, if you're 10, if I will give you 40,000 as a grant, you are not going to pay anything. You can buy sewing machines. You start doing tailoring. You can even like offering services to other people within the community. Even we give you a contract, you say, okay, this school needs uniform by the end of the year or every term. You make those uniform, you produce, you'll be making something by the end of the day. So we're encouraging more, and if like we look at how many people have applied, like for now, like 85% they are women. 85% they are women. In all the groups, they are participating. So this is what we're trying to say, that now, by the end of this year, you find that more women are empowered. They say if you educate a girl, woman, you educate the whole world. So that's why we are even focusing so much on women. Because when you talk even about bursary thing, we have got about 463 applicants.
No.
Yeah. And most of them are women. So we are working towards the women. So that we will see by end of this year or next year, we will see change in Chibolya actually.
So are we only limiting change to this behavioral change and everything, but not settlement? Maybe try to put up the structures a bit.
Okay, in terms of structure, because this has started way back, and once you talk of a structure in Chibolya, I think you want to abandon them, you want to grab their houses. But no, for now what we want to do is to maintain that relationship with them, to make them understand, to say we are with them, because the previous governments never recognized them like we. That's the reason why we see so many things were happening. But now we have come on board. What do we need to do? How do we transform these people? How do we get in touch with them? That's the reason why we are involving them in whatever we are doing. Come closer, we involve them so that we can get in touch. So in terms of settlements, no, for now, we can't touch there.
Okay.
Sure.
Remain the way it is. You wanted to
There
add
have
something?
been concerns, though, Mr. Swan, in terms of the same structures, about some incomplete buildings there, where people say maybe that's where these so-called junkies, the community gangs, hide. So I'm sure that's where my colleague was basing the question from, because there have been concerns saying maybe some of these structures should actually be broken down, should see transformation. I don't know, don't you think maybe those structures, some of these incomplete structures, continue to pose as a security threat?
On that one, actually, as a council, we have taken note of that. And we need to give them notices to the owners of those houses. We need to engage them and tell them if they can't do anything, maybe they can't sell it we help them to say, okay, we'll find maybe someone to buy it, or maybe we secure that place for something else. But for now, we're still engaging the people. Because as it's danger also. As most of the government have been said to say, well, once they come out to say we'll demolish Chiboria, and that has been a threat, and that's the reason why they can't even cooperate. But as we are just noticing to say, if there is any place that is danger to people, say, okay, we involve that person or the owner, we cooperate with them, we see how we can work, not to involve the whole community. Because if you say we demolish the whole community.
Not the whole community, obviously, just identified structures.
Yes. That's what we can talk about. On identified places, we can engage them and see how we can work hand in hand with them.
Okay, we are discussing the use of CDF to transform Lusaka's Chiboria compound with Mr. Nswana Gift, who is the WDC chairperson for Alimonga Nkumbula, Ward 12, and Mr. Clayton Gando, who is actually the NGO chairperson that is particularly working from Chiboria compound. And we just go on a short break. When you come back, we'll just do our concluding remarks for this particular segment.
Are you a married man or woman? Are you encountering challenges in your marriage? Are you planning to take your marriage and love relationship to higher levels? Your business platform is all set for you as a couple. You are invited to attend Zambia's First Love and Marriage plus Business Conference. Amid its uncertainties in the economy, higher divorce rate in the world, plan to be one of the most successful couple in Zambia. Date 28th May 2022. Time from 9 hours to 16 hours. Participation fee 1,200 kwacha per couple. Lunch inclusive. For registration, payment can be done through MTN mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010 for Airtel Money. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International. Speakers, Professor and Mrs. Catherine Munkumba. And your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilo. This is a must-attend conference. Plan and make a date with us. Your lives, marriage and future will never be the same. Remember, we are born for greatness. Book for your seats by calling 0962 965 883. See you on the 28th May 2022.
Your love always brings me back.
Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned with us. We are discussing the CDF, the use of CDF to transform Chiboria compound here in Lusaka. And we're joined by Mr. Nswana. Mr. Nswana, we're just having a conversation over the transformation that is about to take place, or rather, which is actually currently taking place from the youth aspect. And also you've talked about the women's support and empowerment that you are embarking on as the council. And let's talk about the issue of maybe going forward with this transformation. Do we see the youth maybe appropriately addressing themselves to people from the outside society? Because there is this statement to say, dress as you'd want to be addressed.
Sure.
You understand? But if you look at the person coming from that place and they have this history of theft and everything, do we see going forward that they maybe be presentable and can actually have conversation worth having with the outside societies.
Sure, yes. What I can say is in Bemba we say imiti kula impanga. But if we forget about these youths, what leaders are we going to have in the future? Or what kind of leaders do we need to have? These are the same leaders that we are going to have in the future. And they need to learn from the legacy. Like today, they need to learn today. But if we leave them behind, then we're not doing anything. So what we're talking now is, once we engage these people as now, we are going to be transforming them. Now, as you have said, we even need to engage the churches. Yes, we empower them, but we need to change their mindset. They need to know what's good and what's bad, so they can be transformed nicely. So what we are doing now is, once we give them like, we take them to school, we empower them, what they can do. Tomorrow they'll be good citizens, and we involve the church to come on board, so they can be educated as well, to know one or two things. As a person, if someone can be transformed, maybe today we say, I don't want school, I just want to be empowered. We empower that person, but we look at that picture, maybe to say, I think I'm behind somewhere. You will see that the other day we say, I think I need to go back to school, because we understand and we learn more about it. So this is what you are doing, it step by step. We're engaging them step by step. We don't want to enforce them of what they don't want to do. But as we are engaging them, I think they'll be seeing for themselves to say, no, this, no, this, no, this. And then we have a big picture.
Great. From Mr. Clinton, maybe as we conclude, what would be your projection, come maybe a time, maybe in 3 or 5 years, how do you see your input in Chibode compound?
Thank you so much. We have interacted with the policymakers, we have interacted with the youths on the ground, and the limitation, the limited capacity which we have noticed is to say, in Zambia, we don't have industrial zones. We don't have the institutions which are equipped to employ or engage with the youths. The population is increasing. We have trained those youths to say they are trained in catering, they are trained in welding, they are trained in different areas. We are still finding to say the unemployment level is high because of the Zambian setup. Our cities, they don't have industrial catchment areas. So it's an appeal to the government to consider that, because the people we are empowering, they are ending up being vendors, others. So once they end to be vendors again, the council, they are being empowered by CDF, the money which is passing through council. We find that the council again will go for those goods to say, you are maybe like damaging the environment, the streets, So that is the main and the huge challenge which we have. But Zambia still have an opportunity because we have we call them peri-urban areas, Kafiwe, Chilanga, Chiwombo. So let the policymakers have the bigger plan, the urban planners, because if we don't address this situation, in future everyone wants to be in the capital city, Lusaka. And as they are coming, we are finding to say the population is increasing. A lot of people, like the youths, they call each other. They end up being in one room, while they won't have food to eat. In other compounds, you discover to say others are coming from Copper Belt. Those are our friends, we call them, I don't know, there's Mandolas. They end up having they don't have food in the house. What are they going to do in the night? So the policymakers, they have a big law. Let them sharpen up the policies to see how they can establish industrial zones for Lusaka, it being a capital city. Then that will help in terms of creating employment. If we may train the people, we may have a lot of graduates, but if we don't have industrial zones, I'm telling you, we will be nowhere. We can learn also an example from China. We find that one city can carry up to 15 million, 20 million people, but that city like Shanghai is still employing those people. So our law, maybe as an NGO, is to ensure we engage with it, we build the capacities for the human beings, the human capacities. And then for expansion of the market space, that responsibility goes to the government. So it's an appeal to the government. Let them open up the issue of land, the council. Let them have a good plan to take advantage of the peri-urban areas, because the Lusaka Business Center is already covered, is already occupied. The land is already in the hands of the private owners. And for the government now to start coming and get the market where a private owner is, maybe Comesa will come just as a government to say, we want to put a market here, which will benefit everyone. That is another battle. So let them have, with the previous government, we had suggested that to say, maybe these other farms which are nearby Lusaka, let the government consider the land tenure issue there. Because if they don't consider it now, it still remains a challenge for our generation and the future generation to come. So that's my appeal.
Indeed. Thank you so much. Ms. Answana, maybe just to conclude, to give your concluding remarks. Also a projection, come maybe 2030 or something. How do we see Chivolia going forward?
I think Chivolia will be the best place and a better place to stay. And it will be improved because the way we have started now, this is just the beginning. And by 2023, we have got new plans coming in place. So, step by step, Chivolia will change completely and development will be there. We are just appealing to the government because when we talk of Chivolia, let me put it in at light to say, Kanyama constituency. It has got high populated. It's high populated in everything. So they need to consider it at that point. You can't compare when we talk over. You can't compare John Leng with let me say maybe Challenge or any other compound. It's populated. So even when they're putting things in place to say for CDF, they should not be putting it equally with other compounds. Because you find that even developments there, it's there already. They have clinics, they have lodges, they have nice schools, everything is there. Even when you say for CDF funds, you say how many people apply that side and you compare to our compound. There are few who apply for them because they're all done there. But now when we talk of Chivolia, we talk of those compounds, you find that maybe we have more than 200 forms for the people who applied. And then you go to Kablonga, there may be less than 10 or 20. So there should be that range of...
I see a point.
When you take there, the money is not compared to the money that you give that side.
Yeah,
because there's a lot to be done there.
Yeah, some are well established and others are not. Point taken, and also it's something that worth following up, is it, Bro?
Yes, definitely.
In terms of quality.
Yes, and so I'll just come to the end of this segment, and next we're going to be joined by Mr. Madiankuku Muguto, who's Independence Ward 17 councillor, to just help us discuss the state of Lusaka CBD. There have been a lot of concerns in terms of street vending, as well as indiscriminate garbage disposal. And so this has been a very interesting topic, and we hope to see Chivolia compound transform, and I'm sure we'll follow up maybe in a year from now just to see what progress has been made. So take a short break, join us on the other segment.
Are you a married man or woman? Are you encountering challenges in your marriage? Are you planning to take your marriage and love relationship to higher levels? Your business platform is all set for you as a couple. You are invited to attend Zambia's First Love and Marriage plus Business Conference. Amidst uncertainties in the economy, higher divorce rate in the world, plan to be one of the most successful couple in Zambia. Date 28th May 2022. Time from 9 hours to 16 hours. Participation fee 1,200 kwacha per couple. Lunch inclusive. For registration, payment can be done through MTN mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010 for Airtel Money. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International. Speakers, Professor and Mrs. Catherine Munkumba. And your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilo. This is a must-attend conference. Plan and make a date with us. Your lives, marriage and future will never be the same. Remember, we are born for greatness. Book for your seats by calling 0962 965 883. See you on the 28th May 2022.
Your love always brings me back.
Welcome back to our breakfast show here on the Community Desk, where we come live on your screens every Monday and Tuesday with me and Zipporah Mshara. And we're live on Facebook, where you can catch us, Camnet TV, to just contribute, give questions as well, and we'll be able to review given chance. Now, at this point, we're trying to just jump on something interesting as well, discussing the Lusaka's CBD. How is the state now, given that there have been some issues rising from that particular trading center that has to do with sanitation, street vending, and all those issues? And we are really we are really excited to have our guest for today, Mr. Majenko Kumubuto, who is the Independence Ward 17 councillor for that, which houses the CBD in short. Good morning, Mr. Mubuto, and welcome to our breakfast show.
Good morning, Alex. It's actually Mubuto.
Welcome
yes,
to the studios. Good morning.
Thank you, Zipporah.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for that correction.
Thank you.
Yes, just to start maybe on a lighter note, the CBD really is the biggest trading center we have in Zambia, and everyone wants to do trade from there, at least even to buy one or two things when they're coming from far places. How best do we ensure that CBD is in good condition?
Well, thank you very much for that question, Mr. Alex. So, when we look at the whole aspect of trading, we need to make sure that people are trading in an environment that's very conducive for them. Their health must be number one, of course, the first priority, and it's the most pertinent thing for us as a government and for me as area councillor to make sure that that state is in a constant paradigm. Having said that, we are making sure that at every juncture, people are having places where they can wash their hands, sanitize themselves, and also in relation to garbage collection, we are doing a lot. We are having a lot of nocturnal garbage collection. This is the garbage collection done in the evening, and also during the day, we are conducting the same, just so that the citizens can work in an environment that's conducive. But to add on to that, we are engaging, the traders are stakeholders, so we are engaging them as well, enlightening them every now and then on the importance of keeping the premises clean, the premises that they operate from. And to that effect, the President, His Excellency, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, was with us in the CBD, and we thank him for coming there to show the importance of this exercise, the cleaning exercise. About a fortnight ago, or 3 weeks ago, I was there with him, our area member of parliament, Honorable Haimbe, our Minister of Local Government, Honorable Gary Kombo, and our Mayor, Her Worship, Madam Chilando, were there together cleaning the CBD with the head of state to show its importance.
Okay, and so Mr. Majenko could actually cover the same story where the head of state was actually cleaning. But then just we did a check, visit on Saturday, Alex, and we found that dirt, the same place where was actually cleaning Carroll Road, has actually begun to pile up again. So maybe what do you think could be a long-lasting solution? Because we've tried to remove street vendors, it has failed. What could be the long-lasting solution?
First of all, there are certain streets that should be designated, and these streets are actually going to be designated for street vending. For example, Cairo Road, Zipporah and Alex, and Chachasha Road are not supposed to be areas of street vending. There is Lumumba Road, that's been designated certain parts of it, and there's Freedom Way, certain parts of it as well. Now, when you look at the CBD, like you rightly put it, people come from all places in the country to conduct business there. The CBD is a place where I can say a problem has been found because of the influx of people there. So we're a bit overcrowded, okay? But the solution lies in our neighboring constituency, Kanyama constituency. And that's why the government is working day and night to make sure that the new Soweto market and the other markets in Kanyama constituency, Shinika Ward in particular, are completed on time so that we can repatriate certain individuals that are trading from the CBD, take them that side so that we decongest the CBD as well. So to answer your question, you said the place has some debris. On Saturdays and Tuesdays we do the cleaning, but now we are pushing for cleaning every day. It shouldn't only be a thing that we do in intervals because it won't make any sense as it was previously done. Now, I talked about sensitizing the stakeholders, these being the traders, of course. So we need to get to a point, and we're working towards a point where we do that activity each and every day. Yes.
Okay, just to help us set the interview, we actually compiled the story with the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, PS Administration, Mr. Mambo on sanitation. So let's just take a look at that story and be back to discuss in detail. Zambia's capital city, Lusaka, despite being the face of the country, is plagued with a problem of illegal waste disposal, especially in the central business district, attributed to street vending, as well as illegal dumping of waste by shop owners. This paints the country in a bad light, especially when hosting international officials or potential investors. While working around finding permanent solutions to remove vendors off the streets, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development has charged local authorities to be proactive. In an interview, Ministry Permanent Secretary in charge of administration Mambo Hamaundu says available regulations should be evoked, such as checking compliance levels of garbage disposal by shop owners.
Let people put their garbage in bins, and the local authorities can also begin to go around and enforce some of the measures that they have in place. There are regulations or bylaws that compel all business owners to have a contract in terms of garbage disposal. Let them implement there are adequate laws to ensure that we begin to manage the garbage properly. So it's a question of really working together. We can make our cities look a bit more clean. We can make our brothers and sisters who are involved in street vending to operate in markets and they still earn a livelihood. We're interested in ensuring that everyone has a fair share of the opportunities that are available within the context of the Zambian economy.
He has expressed disappointment that barely 2 weeks after the head of state launched a cleaning program in the CBD, it has again begun to fill with dirt.
And not to take away or to blame the public in totality. Even from the local authority point of view, I think that some local authorities have been ill-advising the residents. You know, you find that people are cleaning and they tell people to say, no, but debt attracts debt. So when you tell people to say Tailani Dot in the center of Cairo Road, everyone thinks that is a dumping site. So it is our collective responsibility. Local authorities in Lusaka have a vision of turning it into a garden city, being the country's capital. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
There you have it, a story from the CBD. And Mr. Madianko, just to enlighten us more on the issue of sanitation, really. What causes this, especially if there's a massive cleaning and everything, but after just days afterwards, you find that there are piles of garbage all over the CBD. What causes this, really, to start with?
Thank you, Alex. I'll tell you that from my experience, it's a negative attitude. It's a negative attitude from the stakeholders. And that is why it's important for us to keep on engaging the stakeholders to show them the importance of this. And other people have misconstrued this to a point where when officers are sent to ask them to do the cleaning, they say, no, the president said no cadarism. And you understand, that is a very, very negative attitude. When the president said no cadarism, he meant that institutions now should have power. Institutions that have authority should exercise that authority. He did not say or did not mean that the premises must be dirty now. That's not what he meant. So we have a lot of such individuals, and it has come to a point where in order for some of them to clean, they have to see the area councillor. When the councillor shows up to say, now you do the cleaning, they'll do the cleaning. If you send officers from the local authority, you'll find a bit of resistance there. That's why we keep on engaging them.
Do they ask for money or some sort, or they just go there to clean? Why is this confusion and resistance coming from?
Well, there are just certain individuals like that. You know, I will invite you one day. Hopefully, today is a Tuesday.
Yes.
I'll invite you on a Saturday, and we'll take a walk together. And I hope you can also have a first-hand experience.
Indeed.
As Camnet TV to see the challenges that we face, so you can also understand this mentality that is very counterproductive, and that we're trying to change as the UPND government. And that is why His Excellency came on the ground to show the importance of this exercise.
Yeah, I do believe the local authority have the trucks, which goes should be on particular days or every day, if that being the case, going to collect this garbage in intervals. What's the state of these trucks at the moment as we speak?
Well, the respective trucks I'm sure you're talking about are the ones that pick the bins, these large metallic bins we put on the islands. Of late, they have not been there because they are picked by a specific type of machinery, and that machinery is down, but the spare parts have been ordered and they're in the factory or the garage as we are speaking. They're being worked on. So within a week or a fortnight, they should be out and about. So they're being worked on right now.
Okay, so Mr. Majenkuku, we heard the PS there saying somehow, though he was blaming the public, he said not to entirely put the blame on the public. Local authorities, according to him, have been sleeping, in that there are necessary provisions right now which demand that all shop owners should have a contract of garbage disposal. They may be showing where they dispose of garbage, showing receipts, but he says these but he's saying local authorities actually not conducting inspections in these shops. So no one knows where those shop owners actually dispose of garbage. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Okay, from my office, we've been sensitizing the shop owners, and we've been speaking to them to make sure that they put whatever garbage they have generated from their respective premises into a proper repository, so that they just don't throw garbage anyhow. That will lead to outbreaks of diseases like cholera. That's what we're also trying to prevent. So from the local authority point of view, I think from the departments I've engaged, public health, we have been doing our best. And also the hiccup of having the trucks break down is a situation that has brought a bit of some lagging behind, but we are catching up. And nonetheless, we are not leaving things unattended to. We are still having nocturnal garbage collection, which is done in the night, and we're still having garbage collection, which is done during the day. So,
that
for
is
example,
every day?
Every day. So, for example, Zipporah, you might find that at 10 o'clock in the morning, you pass through Freedom Way and you'll find garbage. Then at 11 o'clock, you might not find that garbage. By the time you're going to the south, by the time you want to return to the north, you find that the garbage has been collected by some contractor or by the local authority.
Okay, have we seen maybe anyone being charged for indiscriminate waste disposal, maybe to send a strong message to would-be offenders, or do we just see maybe sensitization saying don't throw it? Have we seen any charges?
The things we do are usually done in phases. Before we go to enforcement, we, as PS said, there are bylaws and ordinances that talk about prohibiting certain behavior and the enforcements that follow afterwards. Now, before we go to those enforcements, we have to properly sensitize the people, because we also do not want to seem to be going direct to enforcement without sensitizing people. As much as ignorance of the law is not a defense, I think as a government, it's also our responsibility to edify our citizens and let them know what they're supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do within a reasonable time frame, and afterwards we can do enforcements. Then we are comfortable knowing that everybody knows what they're supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do.
Definitely. And so another issue maybe has been on street vending. So there have been a lot of concerns, especially that now we've seen a change of government where we expect to see a lot of maybe investors coming into the country and all that, and yet to see this issue of street vending is more like failing to be maybe permanently removed. What could be some of the solutions to the same? And especially we've also seen places like City Market, which have been rebuilt but not yet utilized. What could be the message?
Okay, every time you talk about the matter of street vending, you need to apply a human aspect to it. You are talking about individuals who have homes and whose children are expecting them to take something for them to eat that evening, to buy something for the child for school the following day.
Yes.
So when we want to attack this vice, we are alive to the fact that people need to earn a livelihood. And that is why previously I stated that Cairo Road, Chachasha Road, are roads that are not designated for street vending. But we can have certain areas in Lumumba and Freedom Way for that particular kind of business. Then I mentioned Independence Ward might be the source of the challenges that we face today in the CBD because of the influx of people coming into, Lusaka from all corners of the country to, find greener pastures. Then the solution also lies in our neighboring constituency, which is Kanyama constituency, in particular Chinika Ward. So we are working in conjunction to make sure that we decongest, but we don't let people go hungry. We decongest, but we don't make a child suffer that's supposed to go to school tomorrow. So we need to apply, and we're applying a human face to it. It also comes back to what you said, Zipporah, enforcement. Imagine if we just moved in and said, okay, the Public Health Act does not permit this. So how many families would suffer as a result of that?
How do we make a balance here?
There have been concerns maybe about Simon Mewa and City Markets, which have been, maybe, I don't know, for lack of a better term, lagging for a long time. People are not utilizing those. Have you maybe engaged local authorities maybe to discuss how soon you can actually utilize those?
Of course. You see, we of course, not to put blame on other people, but we recently took office. And so from where we found the construction of Simon Mewa Lane and the other respective markets in Chinika Ward, we are trying our level best to expedite the completion of these markets so that people can go and trade therein. That is what I can tell you, and we are moving at a very fast pace. So
how soon?
I can't give a time frame because there are many stakeholders involved. I'm simply one of them, and the Ministry of Local Government is also involved, and other ministries as well. So that will need me to sit down with the technocrats properly and give you a proper answer here. And
to establish the time frame of
yes.
Yeah, it will be quite good information for the traders especially.
Correct.
And we compare the story, Alex, on street vending actually.
We do have it. Yeah, I think we can take a look on that story. And when we come back, I'll also ask on the matter of just striking a balance, looking at the economic status of these traders, street vendors, so to say, and also to ensure that there is sanity in the CBD.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's just take a look.
I've not come here to negotiate.
Confusion characterized the central business district in Lusaka Wednesday as Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Garin Kombo was conducting an inspection and gave a directive for all street vendors to vacate with immediate effect. Local authorities have been fighting running battles with street vendors as they have been chased various times but have seen their way back to the street. Many argue that the issue has been politicized as no one seems to tamper with the street vendors during election time. The demand for them to vacate has not sat well with the street vendors, who have accused the United Party for National Development UPND of backtracking from its promises of bettering the lives of Zambians. The street vendors have produced receipts as evidence that they pay levies to the council, stating that markets are full and they have nowhere to trade from.
They should have given a notice to the people, at least for 3 months. Let's look at how the economy is now. Our economy is not doing fine. So we have to give our people a chance to trade in the streets. They were supposed to give them 3 to 4 months from now, up to next year. That's when they can remove them. They are supposed to give them notice. They have to notify the people in advance. They can't just come today and say, vacate the streets. Where will our people go? This is my humble appeal as a Zambian. Let us give people to trade in the streets up to next year.
Atirekerereko. Ife tina bana, tina mafamili. Eke basebenza, ife kiambe kukutika. Bamatiuza bwanji. Bazikumbuka baye bamatiuza.
Bameko promise.
Promise. Teka, tisambo kwani sopyanga. Basanga mizremu kupyanga. Simu Zambia mweka muri mavenda. Langana nkoni makanti zienangu. Batisieko. Ibeze basebenza.
Kasuma kwanji babetizanga kwalishi. Sizapuleza kwanji maloni y'abantu. Bena ngutima ponya mavirimba tina nkokoleza abantu zamavirimba. Songa mwatiteku mwamene mwatipishira so emergency. Tizatenga bwanjolo tizapasa bwanji.
Monday batukutua chemba mikosi. So far we are planning to pay school fees bakuja kumanyumba chilipi. Sote nchipemba kutoka Stingana.
market one side, one side. Don't go to one place. Some go to street here and some go to
The minister has, however, maintained his stance, stating that street vendors should stick to designated streets. He has advised representatives of the aggrieved street vendors to engage the ministry on Thursday to seek solutions to the problem.
They have not come to negotiate. I have not come here to negotiate. For meeting, not more than 15 people come sit down and talk. Nicely, then tizakamba na wazatu tizasenza tona. Siku na wame mtamu.
Makosi patiteka njara mweka za tititira.
That is a solution. That's why it is difficult. You can't throw it.
For now, no street vendor is expected to be seen, as local authority police have been directed to confiscate property belonging to the street vendors. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka. So there you have it. That was a story on street vending, and we've seen that this actually touches at a lot of people's hearts, because people are saying this is where they feed the children, but there have also been concerns from some stakeholders saying maybe these street vendors abandon some market spaces in preference for the streets because they feel that there's better market. They are also trying to find long-lasting solutions to this issue of street vendors, because we've seen this same issue in successive governments where the vendors are chased, tomorrow they're back, and it seems to be an exercise in futility. And so here we have on set Mr. Madien Kuku, who's the Independence Ward 17 Councillor. What do you think could be maybe the long-lasting solution? How can we reach an amicable solution whereby both the local authorities and the street vendors come to a conclusion? What can be done?
Okay, so it's a binary matter. We need to strike a balance between two things. We need to strike a balance between keeping the CBD clean. We also need to strike a balance between making sure that the people that are operating from the CBD still continue to earn a livelihood. As you rightfully heard the minister, he said that people must trade in their respective places. They must trade in their respective places, the places that I've already alluded to, these being Freedom Way, Lumumba Road, and eventually they'll go to Simon Mwewa Lane and other areas in Chinika Ward. So we decongest the CBD, the main CBD itself. That's how we need to approach this. And of course, you see, when you want to talk about enforcement, you end up having such a reaction if people have not been sensitized. And that is the importance of also sensitizing people. But nonetheless, the minister has been sensitizing people. I have been with him on the ground many times to do the sensitization. And I think as we continue in that process, we shall eventually come to a point of enforcement where people really need to get it, that this is how things must be.
So when is the push to Lumumba and Freedom Way starting, so that we don't see people along Cairo Road?
We have started bit by bit, and it can be done in one moment only. We need to do it gradually.
So by gradually, you mean you maybe target a portion somewhere, a place where you move them?
Gradually.
How do you, what criteria are you using?
Okay.
Do you get my question?
I get you. I get you, Alex. I get you. Gradually, we are talking about the procedure. We're talking about the process. The process starts from sensitization. After sensitization, this is mass sensitization, Alex. After mass sensitization, we engage the stakeholders, just like the minister had said. Come 15 of you or something like that. We speak in my office with the stakeholders. I know I would have also been in that meeting being the area councillor. After we finish that, we start a process of now repatriation. We move from one place, we go to the other. And I think that's when your point comes in, where we touch on certain, you know,
meaning they are well informed and they are aware.
No. And it also has to have a time frame and date set. Okay, you guys, this date you're going this side. You guys, this date you're going that side. So that we do not disturb people's livelihoods.
So where are we at in the process at the moment?
Mass sensitization.
Mass sensitization.
And when do you expect to see mass sensitization
end?
What people feel like maybe 10 years sensitization?
Yes.
And
do you know why we ask Mr. Mademko? Because we have heard sentiments from other section of the society to say, if you touch the street vendor, you lose out your vote. Are you scared of that come 2026? Maybe that's why we're getting
that's
this.
That's one thing which has been happening. Remember, in an election here, these vendors are left.
It's like you don't touch these people. When you touch them, you lose out your votes. Are we scared as the UPND administration, and also just to see to it that we delay a bit so that we get to secure our vote?
First of all, I think you have seen that we have a pragmatic president, His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema, a very pragmatic head of state, extremely pragmatic head of state. And that is why he came on the ground to show the importance of keeping the CBD clean. We also have an extremely pragmatic minister, Honorable Gary Nkombo. Now, when you have a combination of those, I'm a pragmatic councillor myself. You are, you see. So we are doing our best, not forgetting, of course, our pragmatic member of parliament, our Minister of Justice, Honorable Haimbe. We are doing our best to sensitize the citizens, first of all. And we do not do things in the interest of ourselves to stay in office. No. We do things in the interest of the greater good, the citizens of Zambia. Okay? The image of the country abroad. And where we want the country to be 5, 10 years from today. Whether we are casualties or not is immaterial. What's pertinent to us is to make sure that we deliver. And as we deliver, we need to deliver in such a way that we do not leave other people in a destitute situation. We leave them in a position that they can, still have those opportunities provided by the Constitution, directive principles of state policy, provide an economic environment that people can thrive in. That's what we want to do. So it's not about ourselves staying in office. It's about us working for the citizens.
Indeed. I beg to be corrected if it's under your jurisdiction to look at the issue of traffic and also the ability of people, getting into the CBD. We've had interviews with the Buses and Taxi Association of Zambia who have suggested that CBD should be decongested, having, the lanes which are specified for the buses and those which are specified for the private vehicles. Do you handle that kind of an issue? And if so, what's the way forward in trying to just reduce traffic in the CBD? Because it's quite horrible, Whenever you want to get in town, you would even calculate, okay, if I want to buy something, I would maybe spend 2 hours, which shouldn't be the case, really.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, I agree with your sentiments, and I also empathize with everyone that goes through such a situation. And I think on behalf of everyone else responsible, it's not our position to see people suffer in such a manner, where they could just go into town, get something 20, 30 minutes and leave, spend 2 hours. It's an unfortunate situation, but we are looking into it. So we are liaising with RATSA. We are liaising with Zambia Police. Most of these problems are coming from bus drivers. There are certain recalcitrant bus drivers that do not want to operate from the station, and they want to operate from outside.
They claim there's
for one
no
or two
space. I don't know. They claim there's no space. What's your response? In the bus stations?
No, actually there is space for 1 or 2 reasons. And if
We'll
you look
get
at certain bus stations, you'll find them empty. Go to Millennium. You
Yeah,
won't find
Millennium
many
especially, I've witnessed this. Yeah.
But you will find bus drivers on the streets. These are the ones that are trying to make bus stations that are causing that congestion that we're talking about. Because when Alex goes to, let's say, Cha-Cha-Cha Road, and Zipporah goes to buy herself some makeup on Freedom Way, you spend less than 1 hour there. You just go park your vehicle, get your goods, and drive off. But that behavior of making bus stations here, there, where they're not supposed to be, is what's causing congestion, because lanes are being blocked. And so we are looking into that, and we are also, I think Zambia Police is also on top of things here, where they are stopping these people from doing that. But like we said, it also is a bit similar to street vending. You keep on sensitizing people and stakeholders. And sometimes, let me also say that sometimes it comes to, they try to blackmail you and tell you, no, we won't vote for you next time. But you see, if you forward to such, then you won't deliver. It means that what people voted for, it won't come to realization or actualization, because then you are fearing for your position. But you have to be firm and say, no, for the greater good of the citizens, not just a small group, everyone must benefit. Let's do the right thing.
Indeed.
Yes.
Quite some insight from the councillor. Mr. Pora, if you have anything.
Yes, definitely. Even as we conclude, Mr. Wajinkuku, we've also heard sentiment saying maybe one of the permanent solutions to street vending is actually to also start charging the customers to actually buy from vendors. I don't know about, what are your thoughts on that approach?
Sorry, Pora, make me understand. Charging the customers.
If you buy from a street vendor, you'll be held
as a penalty.
Yeah.
Yes.
We saw this development from on the Copper Belt. That is what market is this? The famous market, Sokwane.
When was that?
Some good early days as the new administration, where the town clerk from there actually had to pass penalties to these people who are entertaining the street vending.
Do you think maybe that's a good move?
They charge them.
1 year, do you think it is effective in ending the same vice of street vending?
Well, every time that we want to end a vice, we must also realize that those vices are not done from bad motives. The intention of street vending is contrary to the law, but the motive of street vending is to feed your family. So we must be alive to that fact. Now, having said that, it means that the approach that we bring to the table must be one that's empathetic, but effective. Okay? As much as you empathize as a government, you must be effective as a government as well. So I do not, I'm not privy, I'm actually learning of that here, so I think I will reserve my comment. I am not privy to the aspect of what transpired on the Copper Belt. I will stick to Lusaka Central.
Indeed. It was just a case study, given that someone has done it already in that context. But then maybe the question rises from the aspect that even as people who are actually consumers, who are actually buying, do contribute to this. Same applies to the buses. You know, you find that if someone was going to park his bus in Millennium, for instance, I won't go to Millennium. I'll be more convenient where there is just
to get to the bus.
So do we also contribute? Are we putting us as commuters, as consumers, in the picture as you even back on?
So I'll look at the brand and say mass sensitization.
You are also
stakeholders. You are also stakeholders. It won't go for 10 years.
How do you sensitize me?
You are also stakeholders.
As media.
You are also stakeholders.
As a person who's buying or as a person who's community.
No, one modus of sensitization is right now.
What we're doing.
Yes, I'm live on TV, and people are listening. But at the same time, I do not. I stand to be corrected, but I do not think we have any. You know, before you do anything, you do not make enforcements based on an implementation. There has to be a legal framework behind it. Do we have a law prohibiting someone from buying from a street vendor? If we do not have that law, then where are we basing our enforcements on? We're a democratic government. We're a democratic country. So we cannot be enforcing laws on emotion or from pronouncements. There has to be a legal backing. According to section this of CAP that.
Maybe the same whereby vending itself is illegal, thereby you're also a partner.
By buying from the street. Yeah, the partner in crime, they say. But then, just to conclude the show as we get, maybe in 1 minute or so.
Yes.
What would be your concluding remarks going to your, your people in your ward, your stakeholders, and also, our government? What do you say?
Okay. My concluding remarks would be as follows. To the citizens of Lusaka Central, Zambia, and the CBD, the government of His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema is here to work for the people. I'm part of that government. We're here to work for the people. We're here to make sure that their livelihood is not tampered with. But we are also here to bring sanity to the CBD. We are also here to make sure that certain areas are designated for certain purposes, and those purposes must be achieved. So we want to partner with the citizens. We want to partner with all the stakeholders, including yourselves, Alex and Zipporah, your stakeholders. You go to town. Let's keep on sensitizing people about the importance of keeping the CBD clean for our own health, so that we can create wealth for this nation. We are not here to whip anyone. We are here to work as partners. Those are my last remarks regarding the CBD. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Majenko Muboto is actually the Independence Ward 17 councillor, which actually houses the CBD, the famous trading center right here in Zambia. Zipporah.
Yes, definitely. So we come to the end of this segment. Earlier we were discussing transformation of Chiwolia compound with the WDC chairperson for Harimanga Kumbula Ward and also the project coordinator for the Future Foundation NGO. As you know, Chiwolia compound has been notorious. So we were discussing on how CDF can be used to transform Chiwolia compound. And later we were talking about bringing sanity to Lusaka's central business district, being the country's capital. And we have had a very fruitful conversation. I hope you also enjoyed yourselves. So do join Patrick Soko and Sharon Kalimbula tomorrow as they take you into politics. But from us, it's good morning.